Welcome back to the Men's Roundtable Series podcast. I mentioned you. We got some panelists in the house ready to talk some business. How you guys doing tonight? All well out there?
Yes, sir.
I'm excited, man. Good night.
We got the country on lockdown, man, from West Coast to East. Even the Midwest is represented here. We got everything. There's nothing left for Canada. We got everything covered out here. Good to see you guys tonight, man. I'm excited about the topic. Just to preface kind of what we're going to be talking about for those guys that are watching and listening. Before we get there, if you're watching and listening for the very first time, thanks for making us part of your week. We are live on YouTube and Facebook. Of course, all of our content is on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. We're also live on LinkedIn as well. You can definitely find our work if you want to. If you're listening to a podcast and not a watcher, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon. Our shows are out there, so check us out. It's the Men's Roundtable Series podcast, and these men right here, husbands, fathers, sons, brothers, and warriors. I'm excited to be in this fight with you guys. So I've been hearing from not really clients, but more like potential clients, potential mentees that kind of reached out, asking for some assistance on some things. And what I've been hearing is kind of the fruit for the topic for tonight. And it's that challenge between business and busyness. A lot of men, I know so many, I probably can name them all and forget some, where they try to make it the same thing. No, it's not. One got an I in it and one got a Y in it. One's about identity. The other ones should be asking themselves, why are we even doing this? So business and busyness are not the same. We're going to dispel that myth and talk about some things that we experienced entrepreneurially, things we learned about in business and things that we've learned the hard way. Good, bad lessons, the ugly lessons, cautionary tales, however you want to describe it. So I want to get into some of that stuff, man. But before we do all of that stuff, I want to just hear from you guys from last month, because we just really went into a different place last month. I mean, I can't even explain it now, even in the aftermath. It's really hard to just say, except that we found a rhythm that I'm not sure we had since we started this in last July. So it's not, I won't make it like a high bar for us to try to reach every week, but it was just so awesome what happened. The level of emotion, the level of transparency, the realness, it just came through so much. But I want to hear you guys' thoughts, because some of you guys were on panel or in the comment section moderating for us. Real quick, across the board, man, round robin, what did you guys hear? What did you feel? What are you thinking about post last month? Go ahead.
Everybody's waiting for the first person to speak. It's always happens every man. Man, I got a lot of thoughts coming off of last month's topic and this last week. We covered so many things that are awkward, like just super awkward for most men to talk about, right? Yeah. We dug into some places that most of us don't like to talk about. I had some of my ideas challenged by you guys. I tried to challenge some of you guys' ideas, but the feedback was just amazing from the community, because it tells me that men want to talk about these things. They just want to be able to talk about these things with other brothers who will actually hear them and actually respect them while we're talking about it. I think that's one of our biggest fears. And one of the things I came off of after this last month was there's a lot of guys who want to have these conversations. I think most of us are just afraid to actually bring them up in our personal circles, because we're afraid we're going to be mocked or picked on as being soft, or right. It's hard to break that ice, because a lot of men want to talk about it, but they don't want to. It's like no one wanted to make the first comment, right? Not everybody wants to break the subject, because then it opens you up and is a little more vulnerable than most of us want to be. But once you start the conversation, there are a lot of men who want to have these conversations right now.
Yeah, thank you for bringing step in. Who's next?
Yeah, to add on to that, man, I would say that I've seen that people are learning that if you don't know how, you just start, right? Like in our conversations, I feel like we've talked about, like to Brent's point, right, some really heavy things, some things that people are always thinking about, specifically men, right, and want to talk about. And if not for fear, lack of know-how. But now people are willing to just jump in and say something, right? Where it might be awkward, right? It might not be well received. I really enjoyed, I always say Brent starting stuff, right? I always enjoyed that because he will challenge us, and it's not out of spite. It's not out of trying to shame somebody or make, like, this is how trust and bonds are created amongst men, right? Iron sharpening iron isn't smooth against smooth, right? It's not two smooth things keeping everything together. It's rough edges smoothing each other out. And so that's kind of what I've gained from it, man, like through the course of this, but especially these last couple of months, is that, man, it's just this community that's growing here. And I love it. I love it. Again, I said this last week, I'll say it again, man. I'm so appreciative of each and every one of you guys, what you contribute, who you are as people. And man, the things that I've heard from other folks because of this, like, there are lives being touched because of this, man. There are lives being touched because of this. It's not just any one thing. Like, men are being shaped, formed, and built up because of this, because we get to share how we fumbled through things, how we're not perfect, right? And what we've gained through the experience of pain and loss. So yeah, I'm just honored to be here. Thankful for that. And that's what I've been hearing, man, is all good things that come from the broken things that we've brought forth.
All right, Rory, Rod, how about you guys?
Yeah, I just want to echo what he said. I think that DL did a great job right there of summing up how we all felt about last month. We talked about it a little bit last week too, but DL, that was perfect. That was absolutely perfect. I completely concur what he said.
Okay.
I agree with Rory. Yeah, well, what I've been hearing though, or what I've been noticing really, is beginning to be a culture shift. More and more men are looking, from what I've been hearing, they've been saying, okay, I like what you guys are doing. You guys are giving voice to some of the things that I was feeling, but I didn't really know, how to express it. Other guys were like, me and my wife were just going through that exact same thing. That's what, that's kind of the conversation that we're having right now. And it's helping men to see that they're not alone. And they're starting to see the strength in vulnerability. When before we always viewed vulnerability as a weakness, some are starting to see that there's actually a strength if done correctly, And I think as we are growing and going through our process, people are able to follow us and say, okay, we're now making it okay. Well, before it wasn't okay. Now they're seeing a group of men from all different walks of life, from all over the country and the world, going through the same thing and seeing that, okay, it's valid for me to have these feelings. And we're basically a guide because we're going through it and they're seeing how we're overcoming, and it's helping them.
I love it. I love all of that, really. Something a couple of you guys, maybe two or three of you said last week that really hit me in the feels. I'm like, I want to speak for you. If you want to, elaborate on it, you can. But basically, to some effect, you guys were saying that, you look forward to this time. This is meaningful for you in the framework of your week, and it's not something that, just something to do or just my opportunity to shine and get my exposure out. This is something that means something to you to be here. And I'm like, that's one of the goals that I casted in the vision the first time. I said, make this your show, because if you have ownership and you treat it like that, you respect it, you'll promote it, you'll share it, and you grab those men that, like we already know, they can be in dire straits before you know it, in a twinkling of an eye. And you might be the person that might help them not have to step into that situation. So you guys are a big part of this, as always, and you guys are a big part of the world. I don't care what the world says about you. Who cares what they think? I'm telling you that you guys are important, that you guys are valued and you matter. If I wasn't doing this, I'm not quite sure how it would look and feel for me to not be here with you guys. So you're a bigger part of me as I am of you. So love you guys and definitely appreciate all that you do for us. We got some comments in the section here. Well, some comments in the comment section. Our guy Javier is in here. leader and founder of the Compass Chronicles podcast. Hello to you, sir. Another leader and founder of the Daughter podcast. Oscar Pena's in the house. What's up, family? All right, there's some more comments coming through. Iron sharpening iron is not pretty, gents. The metal is damaged to be made better. The Driven to Thrive broadcast is in the house. You guys are part of the conversation, and we love having you contribute to this discussion with solid questions, thoughts, and ideas. Bring it, baby. We're ready for it. Let's go. All right. So I want to kind of get into this because I just feel like, from what I've been hearing, and you guys probably have been seeing the same thing, a lot of us, generally speaking, are we building something or are we just staying occupied? I think it's time for us to kind of get real about, where all this energy is going, because when we get to burn out and feel like we're misaligned with our values, that's not overnight. I woke up, I'm misaligned. No, that happens over some time. That's part of a progression. It's one step in a step of many steps. Where's our energy actually going? And are we actually in the place where we need to be? We talk about business from the outset. It's kind of part of the title of the show. But we also talk about busyness. I always try to give you that imagery because that's how I see it, of that guy in the garage. Stuff is going on in his house, but he's in the garage tinkering. Honestly, that project probably been going on for years. It ain't been no closer 3 years ago than it is right now. And what it tells you that, you know what? He looks busy, but he's not really effective. He doesn't really have the investment in that project as they might appear. He just want to be away from certain things and avoid certain things that make him uncomfortable, or things that he doesn't feel good about, or things he has to face in himself that he doesn't want to see. So that car may never get fixed. That motor may never come out and get replaced. It's a place to hide for a lot of people. And that doesn't mean if you work in your garage that you're hiding. Hear my heart what I'm saying. Generally speaking, that's become one of many hiding places for men. And it looks like it's business, but it's actually just busyness. And those two things are not the same. One is actually building something that will outlast us, and the other is just staying occupied, avoiding the other things that we don't want to deal with. So I want to kind of get into, just kind of hear what your guys' stories are, because could be the only time that we talk about this in detail. But all you guys are business owners and business leaders in some way. If not, you're getting ready to start something, a new venture. Share with us, if you can, what got you into business, all of the driving factors, the mindset. Was it an external pressure? Was it a pull toward entrepreneurship? Or was it, my job just sucks so bad, I got to do something else? What got you into business? And then kind of share a little bit, if you can, about, what you've been experiencing, what you've been learning, and then we'll kind of move forward in the conversation after that. So whoever's ready, you can jump in first. Go ahead.
Well, I'll speak. I'm green in this area. I'm just starting out, really. I say I'm just starting out, but in all actuality, I'm the guy that you were speaking of who was hiding in the garage. I really started on this journey, I say around about 2012. You went and got certified as a life coach, things of that nature. But then I did nothing with it. My excuse then was, well, I don't know enough. So I went to studying, started taking psychology classes. I got my books, started watching people like Eric Thomas, Jim Rohn, Les Brown, things of that nature. And then after I got all the information, the next excuse was, well, I don't want to feel like I'm just regurgitating what somebody told me. I need to apply this to myself. So then I went in and I started applying it to myself, start learning these things so I could talk from a place of experience. Then once I got the experience, there was another excuse. And what it really boiled down to was, it was really fear. Afraid of failure, but also failure of success. Because what comes with the success? The different challenges that you have to deal with, things of that nature. But what got me over that hump was start watching my son when he was born, and then actually as he begins to grow, what lesson am I actually teaching him? And what legacy am I actually leaving? Not just, as far as a business or something that he can be proud of or he can carry on, or wealth or generational wealth, but what lesson or legacy am I giving him as far as in lessons of manhood and completing what you started? And that's that has been my driving force so far. So everything that I had on the back burner, I'm almost done with the book. Get the book done, get the courses done, got the merch all lined up and ready to roll that out, as soon as I get done with this book, and I'm going forward, but the thing was I had all these excuses, and it really just boiled down to I was afraid. Something that had never been done before, afraid of the unknown.
Yeah. Wow.
I love that, man. That last part's powerful, man. I don't hear people say that very often. That I was just flat out afraid.
Yeah.
What was on the other side of the success? I love that, man. Wow, it's really good stuff, man. Thank you for sharing that. Who's next?
Shoot, I'll jump on. I think for me, what got me started in this was a lack of options. It was like I was forced to, you guys know, and I've shared this, right? I'm a convict. So having felonies on my record caused a lot of doors to be shut on me, right? I mean, I've got this resume that says I can run a business, but I've got this record that says I would rob that business blind, and so I was forced to. I don't know that I wanted to. I did a lot of the excuse making at the beginning. I sat down and said, well, nobody's going to hire me. Well, it's because of this. Well, it's because of that, right? And then I did what RL did, man. I went to marketing school. Figured, what, marketing's the wave. This is what you do, right? There's always going to be a need for marketers. I have found my way into the future, and I'm going to pave my own way. Then I got certified, and I sat on it because the work was too hard. Because they still wanted me to know people and have had years of experience, and in order to network in that way, right? So excuse upon excuse upon excuse. What really got me into where I'm at right now and where I'm heading, for no other explanation, man, it was the call of God on my life, right?
Okay.
God was the only one that could kick me in the butt hard enough to get me moving. Left up to me, I've been the guy, and sometimes I still am the guy with a million unfinished projects sitting on the shelf, chasing after the next thing because it makes me feel good, right? But that's kind of the header, busyness versus business, right? Oh, I'm not complete with this yet, but that next thing can take me for the next 6 months and it'll look good and everybody's doing it. So now I'm fitting in with the trend, and then I'm reminded of the God that I serve is faithful to see works to completion, busyness versus business. And so that's where I'm at now, is reminding myself daily that just because the world's doing it, just because it makes me feel good, just because it's too hard, whatever those things are not reason enough for me to not continue, right? If I fancy myself someone that fears the Lord, then I'm going to model myself after him. I'm going to fall in line, and I'm going to try to do everything that I can to complete what I start. But yeah, at the onset of it, man, it was all because of a lack of options, man. I had to be defiant to the world.
Oh, that's really good, man. Thank you for the transparency. That's good. It's part of that story I never heard before. I love this. This is refreshing. Thank you for sharing that, brother. Who's next?
All right.
Y'all too much gentlemen. 3 Mississippi's is more than enough. Come on, guys.
Rory pointed at me, so I'll go. Okay. So first, I got to comment on the garage guys. Men absolutely scientifically need hobbies. It's actually something we've stopped doing in the last 20 years. Psychologically, men need about 30 minutes a day of a hobby where they're constructive for their mind to actually be at peace. So, for all you car guys who are just doing it because you need the hobby, that's cool. Just don't lose all your life out there. Right.
Now, wait. Don't forget now. I didn't say they shouldn't be doing this. I'm saying
I know. I'm just clarifying.
Ones that aren't doing anything for real.
We don't want to like, piss on the guys who actually have hobbies.
That's not what we're doing.
Right. So business wise, like my journey started because I hit the dream, right? And it's a big thing on my platform. We talk about the American dream all the time. I was raised with the very classical, if you think of like the classic American idea, I was raised God, family, country. And I was raised on the American dream, right? You grow up, you get a job, you have a family, you get the white picket fence and the dog, you got 2.5 kids or whatever it is. And that is what we aspire to as men. And so I did it. Like I got there, right? It took me, years, but I got there, and I had the house and the wife and I got the kids. And I was 40 years old and I started looking around and going, it's like, wait, that's it? I mean, I had a good white collar job. I was making a good amount of money by myself every year. My wife could stay home and raise our kids. Like we weren't rich, but we were doing well, right? Better than a lot of people. If my wife could stay home and take care of the kids, like that's a huge thing these days to be able to achieve that, right? So I was making pretty good. I had a good white collar, respectable job. I was doing well in that industry. And I seriously just started looking around. Yeah, I've never understood the 2.5 kids either, bro. It just that's the phrase. I just don't understand it. I don't even want to speculate on that. Some King Solomon stuff going on or something.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I started looking around, and I'm 40 years old, and I know I'm not going to be able to retire ever because the 401k system is just a crock of crap. But I'm looking at it and I'm going, seriously, like this is it to life. I go to work for 40 to 50 hours a week. I come home, I hang out with my wife and kids. Maybe I go out every now and then. I hit the gym, and I started looking around my life, and I know that God created me for more than that. That's not God's plan. That's the American dream, right? That's what we bottled it down to and sold it as. And it was a marketing thing. They marketed us this dream and said, this is what it is. This is arriving. And I bought it hook, line, and sinker. That's what I was raised on. And so I started looking around. It's like, no, God's got bigger plans in my life than that. Like this does not, yes, I was doing a job that supported some important industries, but it wasn't making a difference in people's lives. Not like a real difference. Yeah. Okay. You guys can catch your flight. I was supporting different, Fortune 100 companies in the IT sector. You guys, email is going to be on time. Yay. Congratulations. Woo. Right. That's not real impact. I'm not raining on those guys. But that's not life-changing impact. That's not what God called me to do as a man and as a person. And so I started looking for better answers because I knew my life was supposed to be more than that. And so I started my own thing. And like I made all the errors, guys. Like I'll be the first one to tell you, I have screwed up business. I've had the road of hard knocks on business. I've had a high-end business coach. I've been surrounded by successful entrepreneurs, talked to tons of highly successful people, and I have had to find it the hard way every step of the way. I have done everything wrong. I have screwed it up. I have opened and closed businesses because that's the way my brain works. I got to do it, and that's how I learn things most of the time. I've tried learning through books, and I learned some things, but most of the time I just kind of got to try it and go, oh yeah, that was stupid, right? But I started doing it. And once I started doing it and I left the safety of my job and went out on my own, right? And I went from it being a hobby to actually trying to make a business of it. That was an educational experience. But I also look back, there's been a lot of struggles that came with that. My wife and I gave up our entire life savings to fund this dream.
Oh, wow.
We got no financial security. Like we have the classic entrepreneur journey and I've been up and I've been down. But I look at my life, and while we don't have all the security I'd like to, at the same time, I'm happy. I'm impacting people. I'm making a difference in people's lives. I'm interacting, and I'm my own boss. It's my choice that I get up at 3:45 in the morning, not somebody else. I'm not making somebody else the money. I get up and I choose, and I run 17-hour days, 7 days a week, but that's for me. And I can do that for me and my family. Doing it for somebody else just felt hollow. Right. And so now I'm almost addicted to it. I still don't have it perfect. I'm still a work in progress on my business, but I can't, like the idea of going back to work for someone else is so horrifying to me because I'm breaking my day, but I'm doing it for me. I'm not doing it to make somebody else wealthy. I'm not selling out myself, not anybody else. And there's nothing wrong with having a secure job. Hear me clearly, gentlemen. There's nothing wrong with having a good, secure job that pays your family's bills and takes care of your family. That is admirable. But I can't go back to that world where I feel like I'm punching a clock every day and not actually touching the world.
That's good. You know it's bad when you go to the office to get a business license and the person behind the desk is like, here he comes again. You see the photos go up and down. You know you've been there way too often.
I'm
One day
super excited I can
share
do that all online now.
Perhaps I can share that story one day about how that came about. But Rory, go ahead, bring us on, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to take a little different tact. I've been in business my entire life. I've been running my own thing. When I was 6, actually, was the first time that I actually started doing something that resembled a business. I got $5 in a birthday card, and that was a ton of money back then to get a birthday card. That was like the rich aunt, And I went out and I said, all right, I'm going to spend it all on ice cream. With the ice cream man when he came down the street, in the truck and stuff. And some of you guys are too young for this. We used to actually have a truck that drove around neighborhoods and sold ice cream to kids.
I got one across the street.
I got one
across the street.
DL and R are like, what are you talking about, bro?
No, I know about that.
Well, so I go down there and I bought a bunch of ice cream. My idea was to take it home. Well, and then all these kids who missed the truck were like, oh, can I, get one of those? Can I get one of those? Because they missed the truck. And so I was like, well, I spent 25 cents, on this. Sure. For 50 cents, you can have this, and then a couple of the moms were like, hey, can I get one of those? Can I get one of those? I said, sure. For 75 cents, you can have that because she's a mom, so she can pay more. Right. And then I started going around and taking orders. And I was like, hey, this guy's mom, when the ice cream truck comes by today, what do you want? I'll get it for you. Oh, will you really? Oh, awesome. They give you the money, charge them twice as much. I was making money every single day at 6 years old. It's that type of thing that I've been doing my entire life. And I can't do anything else. When I've had a business that didn't work for some reason and I had to go work for somebody else, I hated every single minute of it. And all I could think was, how am I working for this guy who can't figure out how to get out of his own way when I figured out how to make money selling ice cream? And this guy over here can't figure out how to run this, or this, and I have to actually listen to this chump. So it was really hard for me, to go work for anybody else. It just has never worked out very well. So here I am again. And, God said, look, we both know that you're too much of a jerk to go work for anybody else. So you need to just go do it yourself. And so he slapped me around and said, Rory, go do your own business like you're supposed to. And here we are today. So,
oh my goodness.
A little comic relief. Everybody had great serious stories. I'm like, you know what? No. I'm selling ice cream, baby.
What I wouldn't give to see Andy's face right now. I would love to see her face on that last comment. I'm just wondering what she's thinking. But
oh, she knows. She married this.
Yeah, right? I know, but I need to see that grill on that comment. That's wow. All right, so obviously business is something that, several in the comment section and everybody on this panel here, we are acquainted with it. Is anybody willing to be open and honest about being acquainted with the busyness part? Because I feel like being busy has become a badge of honor. I don't know exactly when that started, but as far as I can remember, busyness was a badge of honor, especially with the dads. Not quite sure why them over everybody else, but just it was a badge of honor for them. Activity without intention, it just kind of feels like it's just noise, So, Brent, you put your hand up. Way to go, young man. Be open and honest. Go ahead, jump in there, brother. I want to hear this because this is real. This is real right here too. It's easy to talk about the highlights. Oh, this is my business. I did this. I did that. But that other part, it's kind of messed up, man. So for us to own that is like that's big of you, man. So go ahead,
brother. You're singing my song because that's my jam,
Seriously. My jam, yo.
Oh,
jam,
yo. Like okay. I have a workout. I'm not trying to brag, but my first job was on a ranch, right? I lived and breathed on a cattle ranch, a real honest to God cattle ranch in the middle of Wyoming when I was in high school. And so if you ever worked farms or ranch, like it's no joke. You don't get to laze around. There's none of that crap. Like it's it's life. And those cattle in Wyoming, we had 40 to 60 below winters and 100-degree summers. Like, it's no joke. Those cattle, the sheep, all lived and died by how well I did my job. And so I developed a really good, my parents raised me, did the best they could to raise me with a good work ethic. And while it's one of my strongest gifts, I have this great work ethic. It's also one of my biggest weaknesses and failures, because I have this incredible work ethic. And I'm like, well, crap, if I'm busting my butt, I'm doing something worthwhile, right? I got the hard work. I can do the hard work. I outwork anybody. And so I would convince myself, and I told you, like, I made all the mistakes. This was one of them, was I would convince myself, because my calendar was slammed. I live and die by my calendar. And I had all these things to do. And I got this going. I got this meeting. I got this. Oh my God. Like, I was so jam-packed. Like, I had anxiety about not getting stuff down on the punch list. But I had a friend call me out on it and be like, yeah, but what on that is making you money? Like, it was just a straight cold sentence that just hit me through to the heart. Yeah, you're doing all that, Brent. Like, no one's questioning your work ethic, because I equated that also with me being a man and my masculinity, right? I had a good work ethic. That's important for men. But he called me out on it and said, this way, he was a mentor and a good friend. And he's like, brother, what if that is actually making you money right now? What is actually paying your family's bills? Is any of that paying your family's bills? Or are you just busy because you think that makes you successful? And that was the first time, like, it hit me in the face that this is actually a huge epidemic in the lives of our country. Like, I started stepping back and looking at it, and being busy and planning actually triggers the same. And I saw you post dopamine in the comments earlier. It triggers the same exact chemical response in your brain. Planning and being busy trips that same sensor, that same sensation that releases dopamine and rewards you as you're actually doing something, whether you are or not. Neurochemically, it has the exact same reaction. And so it's become an epidemic. We praise people for being busy in our society. And I was one of them. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm super busy. Oh, I got this. And people are like, oh my God, you're so busy. And I'm like, in that moment, he's like, yeah, but what's actually making you money? Is all that business actually moving your business? Do you have more clients? Are you making more money than you did last month? Do you have more sales? I mean, what are you doing that's actually moving the needle? And I'm like, but I got all this and I got it. And I can't do that right now. He's asking me to do things. He asked me to, like, give up some stuff and try these other things. I'm like, but I'm so busy. And he's like, yeah, and that's why you're broke. You start talking about my wallet, it hits closer to home, right? I'm going to hear that, especially from a friend. It's like one of you guys calling me out and be like, bro, what are you actually doing? Is that actually doing anything for you? Right? It hits different from somebody you respect. And I realized, like, I had just been going through, and I went through this for a couple of years. Like, honestly, I was banging my head against the wall, filling my calendar, being like, hell yeah, I'm good at business. And I wasn't getting anywhere. Like, my business was not moving. I was not making money. I was just bleeding my savings, feeling like I was doing something, but I wasn't. And that was a really hard pill to swallow.
I want to ask a question about one thing that you said. You were talking about how you were doing all this work, and then your friend / mentor kind of taught you a little bit about, not making any money. How, what's the point of all this stuff? I want to ask you how you transition from that, because most of the people on this call and those that are probably listening and watching this might be A-types like us, right? So it's like, I think I mentioned it week before last or last week, that sometimes even when I'm sitting down, decided, you know what, I've done all the things I need to do today, I done found something else to do. Can't even sit down and just chill and watch NCIS. I got to pick my phone up and find another graphic to make, another promo to put out, another response to say. So tell me what you did, man, because you might be giving me some hope here, or we're going down into the pit deeper together. Not sure what's going to happen yet, but when you got checked like that, and you realize, you know what, all the work you were doing wasn't amounting to any dividends you could see. Did you work less? How did you pivot? What did you do?
I really wish, my ego wishes I could actually say that I reacted quickly and effectively, and I didn't. Like, I fell so short on this. Like, I was angry about it. I was like, screw that guy. You know, what, how dare he? Like, I totally responded to it, dude. I was just like, screw him.
So you unmitigated gall.
Right? Yeah, I was so pissed off. And this is a friend. I know he loves me. I know he had my best interest at his heart. He loves my family. My family loves him. And I totally, like, I was pissed. Like, I stopped talking to him. I stopped working with him. I'm like, it took me, I'd love to say I like came back around within 6 months, but I don't think I actually did. I want to say it took longer than that, because they just sat there and gnawed at me. Like, this little just scratching at my brain, because now I started questioning everything. And I was like, no, this is it. And I'd argue myself back out of that questioning, because, like, I know what I'm doing. I didn't. I super did not. Like, I am horrible at sales. Marketing is not my thing. It's funny. I'm great at making digital media assets and stuff like that for other people, but, like, promoting my own stuff, so bad about it. Right. I would do more for other people's shows and for other people's businesses than I ever did for mine. And then just sit there frustrated. It was like, but I'm getting the episode out. I'm getting the episode out. Right. I'm getting this new episode out. I'm getting this done. And I got that interview done. Right. And I just stayed lost in this spiral with it just scratching at my brain with every decision. And it gnawed at me for months. Like I said, I'd love to say it was less than 6 months, but it wasn't. And then I started finally actually asking the question every time I'd start something new. I'd be like, what is this actually accomplishing? And then there's the shame, right? After you're pissed off, there's the shame of realizing what an idiot you have been and how stupid you were and how badly you treated people who cared about you. Like, I was so devastated about the way I had treated my friend. I mean, people pay him, like, he's a professional coach. Like, he's a high ticket coach. I could not pay him. He was doing it for free just because he loved me. Right. People pay him thousands upon thousands of dollars a month to work with him. And it was the one thing he asked me to do was, like, you know, hey, respect it like you were paying for this. And I felt like such a jerk. So then I just fell into this, like, almost depressive, shameful state about how bad I've been screwing things up for the last several years. So I'd say, honestly, like, it took me a year, maybe a little longer, to crawl out of that, because first I was angry, then I was shamed, and I was embarrassed. And then it was like, I actually finally started making that transition of looking at the choices I was making going, crap. Like, none of this is actually making me money. And then I took a really bad hit business-wise, and got deplatformed, and it cost me most of my audience. And I went from being able to make a living on my show to nothing. But when I was making a living on my show, I hadn't, like, capitalized on it. I didn't, like, build up my clientele. I didn't do any of the things I should have been doing. And so once I really lost that and had to, now I'm really kicked in the, you know, right. It was like the gut check was hard. And it's really only been in the last year that I've actually started climbing out of that hole, where I'm now looking at the choices I'm making. Like, I'm about to cancel one of my shows. I love all the shows I do. I got, if I count the fact that I do this every week with you guys, I got 6 shows, not quite up to Rory's level yet, but, you know, I got like 6 shows, and I actually had a heart with my wife the other day. I'm about to cancel one of them. Like, we're about to wipe it out, because I love doing it, but it's not growing. It's not moving the needle. It's not accomplishing anything. And that was the whole reason I started that one. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's taken a long time.
That's good, man. Thank you for sharing that. This is a great story. Before you guys jump in, this is an awesome story from Hobby. He said he had his own medical consulting company. He said he used the busyness and the constant travel to avoid facing the issues he was having in his marriage, in his faith, and as a father. staying busy kept him from dealing with what was really going on. I'm like, see, this is real stuff right here, gentlemen. This is what's really happening. It's not that the things that we do is bad per se, but we use it. I did I don't know if you could find. You have to dig too hard to find it, but case in point, Brent, you're talking about dropping the show. I'm planning to bring back my original podcast. They call me Mr. U. I feel like it's just been a long time coming. My wife said you should never cancel them. Like, thanks, babe. But so I'm bringing that back. It's gonna be 4 shows again. It's gonna be manageable this time. I got a plan. But on one of the episodes, there was an episode called "The Emancipation of Busy," and what I was doing was I was making busy as a real person. Yeah, when you call somebody and ask them, can they come to your event, like we seen last week, or can you come to this gathering that I'm having, or can you help me move? What do people say? I'd love to, but I'm busy. And a lot of times it's not real. You find that out over time. You figure things out. It's not a real thing. So I made busy in this podcast episode. I made busy like a real person. And I want to emancipate busy from being accused falsely by all these people saying, you know what? The answer to all the things that they didn't want to do, they would say, oh, I can't because I'm busy. So I love that, man. But who was next? Go ahead, jump in. Three Mississippis is enough gentlemanness on this show, right? 3 misses. Come on, y'all.
Okay. Busyness. I would say for me, it was busyness because there was a lack of identity and a lack of purpose. In that, I mean, I wasn't really sure who I was, what I wanted, or what was my purpose for being here. But getting close to scripture, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. So understanding your purpose and understanding your why will get you on the track. Otherwise, if we can be doing a lot of things, but if we're not doing the right thing at the right moment, it's like we're running on the treadmill. We're running, we're getting stronger, we're building up our work ethic, but we're going absolutely nowhere. So understanding your purpose puts a destination in front of you, and it also helps you make the right choices. It helps you get your priorities in order, because if I'm trying to go to Walmart, which is a mile east, there's no reason for me to take a road that's going to take me 2 miles west. So knowing your purpose and knowing which way you're going and why you're doing it, it helps you to eliminate some of the businesses, because everything that you're doing, it has a designated purpose. You're doing it for a reason. But when you don't know what you're doing, where you're going, why you're doing it, you just try a little bit of everything. Oh, this looks good, so let me go over here and try this. I don't like that, so let me go and try this. And now I know some of that is necessary in finding ourselves, but also back to the scriptures. You know, I think it's in Luke, I want to say Luke 14, where he's talking about discipleship, but he's talking about considering the cost. And a lot of times we jump into these things and not really consider the cost of what it's going to take. Do I have the capacity to even do this? So a lot of times with me, if I wanted to be more, or if I wanted to do more, I had to first be more. I had to become. Kind of all over the place with it. But basically what I'm saying is, when I think about it, one of the first commandments that he gave us was, he said, be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue. First thing he said in that was be. So you have to be who he's created you to be in order to produce the fruit that he's placed on the inside of you, which again, seek you first the kingdom. Where's the kingdom? The kingdom is on the inside of you. So what is it that God has placed on the inside of you? What does he say who do he say you are, and who must you become to bring out the fruit that he's placed inside of you? Then you're walking in purpose. When you're walking in purpose, it starts to eliminate all the business. Now, again, it's not going to all go away, because, you know, a lot of us been doing this for 20, 30, 40, 50, some of 50, 60 years. So it's, it's some habits that we have to break, and we got to, dwindle. But you'll see when you're walking in purpose, a lot of these other things just begin to fade away. You don't even recognize it anymore. And sometimes you may stumble upon this. Like my son told me the other day, he said, you're a podcaster, right? And I was like, no, I'm not. He's like, Daddy, yes, you are. You're on YouTube. So, and I hadn't even really realized it. That's an avenue that I've actually stepped into, not realizing I stepped into it. So maybe I need to pursue that. So let me pray on it and see what message he has for me to, put on the podcast. So kind of all over the place, but it boils down to purpose and identity.
I've been waiting on that last one for about 3 months now, so just waiting for you to own this, and then we can do some work. I got you.
All right, I own it. I own it.
I said 3 months. My bad. It's really about 6 months. But go ahead.
Well, it's June of last year. I know.
No, almost long. End of last year. All right. So who's next? Anybody else want to own the fact that they've walked in busyness?
Oh shoot! I mean, if my brothers here are being accountable, let me hold myself accountable to it too.
I mean, fam, that's what they're doing out here.
I'm gonna throw my gauntlet down and say, I didn't know. So let me share one thing really quickly, Brent. I am so appreciative of the science behind that, because let me tell you what, a full calendar, even now, a full calendar is attractive to me. I don't know why, but it is attractive. And I think about before, like once upon a time, a full calendar was the easiest escape, kind of to your point, Mr. Yu, about like the easiest escape from responsibility, easiest escape from doing things that I don't want to do. Like, oh, I'm busy. Like, do you see this calendar? I've got 50 appointments in one day.
Oh, right.
There's only 24 hours in a day, but I've got 28 hours allotted for on this one day. Like, sorry, can't do it. Even if I was doing nothing. But I've always been like an all or nothing person, right? All or nothing. So like the danger in seeing the full calendar and the busyness there for me is sometimes I find myself doing absolutely nothing and kind of wasting away, And so that's where I find myself today kind of in the middle there, where calendar's necessary to keep myself on point. Right? It is necessary. There has to be a level of structure to it. I can't just sit on my hands. There is seek ye first, but there is a seeking that's involved there for me, right? It's not just going to land in my lap if I do absolutely nothing. So I find myself today kind of in the middle there. But if I'm being honest, which I do my best to maintain transparency with you guys and anybody else I meet, I'm still a look at my calendar guy every once in a while. There are days where I'm like, I'll look at my calendar and feel like I'm accomplished, having not yet set out to do anything on my calendar yet, and felt like there was, I guess, lack of purpose in those days, or forgetting my purpose in those days. But yeah, if I'm honest, I still do it. It's just who I am, I guess, in certain ways. Not to own that as my identity, but I'm a fallible creature, man. Every once in a while, busyness, hey, it just looks good. You know what I mean? Like, it literally just looks good. And sometimes the outward perception of people, sometimes that's what I need for the day. There are days when that's just what I need. I need people to see that I'm busy, so that I can feel good about myself. If I'm being honest.
Yeah. We don't have to go here, but I'm gonna say this openly for everybody, just out of love for you. You're a brand new husband. Not everything that fills your calendar is gonna move the needle. Brent was talking about it a little bit. Rory may discuss it a little bit when this opportunity comes up again. But there's tasks that generate income and tasks that just kind of feel productive, but they don't do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Largoose is going to make you choose between those. Because she's going to want some time, and the time that you're spending otherwise. And we talked about this a lot. Rory and I discussed this at length all of last month. The things that we do, man, we got to show. We know it's valid in our minds, I guess, what we think it is, but we got to make that thing so. It has to be validated.
Yeah.
Especially for our wives. Because when I sit here with you guys, and like I said, I love it. There's no regrets at all. I don't know how many listeners we got, how many views and downloads. I don't know. But what I do know is this, that when I'm here, I'm invested in you guys. Even my wife likes to know. You might be watching it right now. Every week. Biggest fan of the Men's Roundtable series, the missus. She knows why I'm doing this. So when the day comes where we see the kind of growth that we want to see and the validation that we want to see in this, it's going to be well worth it. But as a new husband, bruh, those calendar events, which ones are staying, which one's going, because they ain't all staying.
Well, if I can really quickly, just to come back to that, we have a shared calendar, brother. So I'm already there. She makes sure she's already doing that.
Bingo. Wow. Yep. DL did the square. All right, Roy.
You sure you want me to answer this one?
You don't have to. I would not know.
DL's already laughing.
I could be nice.
Let me take a little different tact, and I'll do it quickly because I know you want to get another one in here. I think that things have changed is really what has happened. And so the busyness part has become much more of an epidemic today because things have changed. I've run, I don't even know how many businesses. We're trying to count them up. When you guys were talking, I was making hashtags and stuff, but I honestly am leaving some out. I have run businesses. I've started them. Some have failed. Some have been great and been sold. But I've always done this. And in the old days, you had to actually have a business. Meaning if you didn't make any money at it, then you had bills associated with the business, like, a place that you had the business at. You had lights, you had, gas bill, you had parking, you had all these things. And that was an actual business. You had to rent a place to go have a business. So you couldn't just wake up and go, hey, I have a business. Today, anybody can say, I have a business right now. It doesn't cost you anything to have it. And you can say, this is what it is. And then you just start doing stuff and you go, it's a business. Right? I'm a content creator. I'm going to make money making content for Facebook. So I'm going to make all this content and I'm busy all day long. Right. And then, at the end of the month, I get my, little payment from Facebook for 38 cents because I worked all month long. I'm a podcaster. That's my business. And I'm going to put out 15 episodes this month. And I'm going to edit, for 4 hours an episode. And I'm going to interview people and I'm going to work all the time. And, how much did you make? Well, I'm not monetized yet. That takes time. I got to put out 4,000 episodes first. This is what happens today is that you can actually have a business, make zero, get billed zero, and all you have spent is your time. And because we don't understand that our time is in fact our most incredible currency, we just keep on going and keep on going and keep on going. We had that conference, last week. And that was one of the things that I was telling everybody who was there was, guys, if you're not making money at it, it isn't a business. So, but that has changed. And so I think now what you have is an entire society of people who are just busy doing what they think may one day become a business. And I love the idea. I love the mindset. Hey, let's go do this. But they're only being busy with the stuff they like doing. They're not being busy with the stuff that they dislike or that they're afraid of or that, worries them or that's boring, that will actually make them money. And I think that's the biggest problem we have.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, man. Like I said, there's so much. All right, Rory. You're the man, brother. Man, there's just so much to this. That's why I know this is going to be a minute before we peel through it, man. But I dropped the episode. I had to go and dig it up. Season 3 of the original, the OG, the flagship. Episode 117, The Emancipation of Bitch. I'm really proud of it. take a chance to check it out if you get a chance. Also on our Facebook and YouTube in the comment section there. Man, we get busy a bad rap, boy. I mean, there's some events that we have. Oh man, listen, edit yourself. There's some things in my community that are events that people do on a regular basis. I don't want to be a part of it. It ain't nothing personal. But one thing I would say openly to people is that, I don't suffer fools lightly in any area of my life. If you want to be out here with the big red nose and the red shoes, hey, do you, man. I ain't judging the orange here. You do you. But I'm not watching you jump through no hoops that's set on fire. I'm not gonna watch you do that. I just want to be a part of that. So when I get those reach outs, you be a part of this. I have to remember episodes like this where I pour my heart out saying, you know what, this ain't real. Busy don't deserve what we giving busy. I gotta have better answers than I'm busy. Just out of integrity and honor and self-respect. I can't say, oh, I'm busy. I gotta say, you know what? I can't be there for such and such a reason. I can't make up alibis and I think just generally speaking, we as men do that kind of stuff. We make up stuff that ain't just the car project in the garage that's been taking 15 years. It's not just that. It's more than that. A lot of it is just an avoidance of things that we don't want to just be outright and honest and say, you know what? I'm worried about somebody's feelings. I don't want to be an outcast. I don't want to be in a situation where, you know what? Next time I see this person is going to be uncomfortable. This is a different topic. It's going to take us to a different place, I'm sure. But what's been on my heart the past 2 months or so is about raising the standard in our life. Raising the standard and maintaining it. If this is who you are, and this is what you want to do and what you're not going to do, don't you move that bar. Don't you bring it down and make people feel good about you or to get into their club and click. You keep that bar up there where you got it. And you maintain it, and you live up to that thing. And a lot of men don't do that. We won't say, we mentioned this many times on this show. I don't know how many times, ad nauseum on this show, where sometimes men don't want to say stuff because they worry about what somebody's going to say, or it could be weaponized against them. Man, weaponize it. We got to say what we got to say and do what we have to do, especially in those personal situations where we are using busy as an alibi for what we don't want to do, what we want to deal with. But any thoughts or comments? We're getting close to the, okay, good comment right here. I've been hearing this all year long so far, that no is a complete sentence. We don't have to add anything to it. At the end of that word sentence is a period. We don't have to say, you know what, it's no, but here's the reason why. We don't have to do that. The answer is what?
No.
Yeah. I'm not coming to that. I can't be there for that. That date's not going to work. Why? No. Go ahead. Who had a comment or question?
I'll punch in on that real quick. So Richard Branson, right? Billionaire. Most people know the name. They may not know why they know the name. The guy's a multi-billionaire, right? Owns 100+ companies. If you study Richard Branson, he has 3 goals a year for his company, personally, like across his life, personal, professional. He has 3 goals a year. Anything that doesn't move one of those goals forward is a no automatically. That is his filter for his personal assistant, like the person who handles the schedule. She knows precisely this is his 3 goals. It doesn't matter if it's a charity appearance or a huge gala with lots of famous people. He doesn't care.
Yes.
He has 3 goals. If it doesn't move the needle on one of those 3 goals, the answer is no, and there's no apologies for it. Right? We have to respect ourselves at that level, both professionally, personally. We have to respect ourselves enough to go, no, this isn't taking me where I'm going. This isn't achieving what I'm trying to achieve. This isn't making my family better. This isn't doing what needs to happen this year. We have to respect ourselves. And we feel like we're disrespecting other people by saying no, but honestly, we are disrespecting those people by saying yes, and we are disrespecting ourselves.
Definitely, man. I mean, that's such a wholesome idea. I mean, I hear it a lot in business circles, but it's like, why are we afraid to do that? I mean, this probably could be another episode, but why are we afraid to do that? Why are we afraid to say, you know what, that doesn't meet my standards? That's not where I want to be. We're not all going in the same direction. Just this past month alone, and I know that some of you guys can attest to this. I probably send out 3 reach out for 3 things that I have going on, and a lot of people said no to it. But my only thing is, I ain't against you saying no, but don't be one of the people who was complaining about it before it was offered. Don't be that person. I'm like, why you saying no? Because isn't that what you've been texting me about for weeks now? Just don't be that person. If you don't have the bandwidth for something, that's totally fine. I ain't gonna be offended. I gotta find new circles and reach out and do what I gotta do to offer something I think is valuable. Ain't no problem. But I love what you said, man. That's really deep and it's really real, man. I know that we don't get that. I know we're not doing that. We move that target so often. So maybe we can get into that next week. Why we move the target so much? We can get into somebody make a note of that, so I won't forget why we moving the target so much. So, any closing thoughts before we get out of here, man?
I just want to echo what Brent said and then touch on something that Rory said.
Okay.
It's remembering that time, that is our one finite resource. We can reconcile relationships. We can make good on a boo-boo. We can make more money. We don't get time back. Like we don't, right? And so understanding that, and then again, this is where I echo what Brent said. Like if we respect ourselves enough, if we value ourselves enough, then we would value our time, and we wouldn't just throw it away because of somebody's feelings or because we think we can drop the bar just a little bit in case it's not received right. And so I think for me, it's like anybody out there that's listening to this, remember that if you don't take anything else from this, like it's your bar. Like Mr. You said, you can't let anybody tell you whether you have to raise it or lower it. That's entirely up to you. And you don't get that time back.
Thank you very much, sir. Well said. Any closing thoughts? We got a lot to talk about and a lot of weeks to do this, man. So we got time. But if you're watching and listening for the very first time, thank you so much for making us part of your week. We love what we're doing in here. And if you're a man that's been on the fence, I don't know what your problem is. We out here, we've been putting our hearts out here on the line for all to see on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and everywhere. This is a safe space for you to share about the issues and the challenges and the stories you have. Jump in and join us. We are welcome to receive you. We'll talk about it offline. Reach out to one of the 5 of us or somebody that you may trust in the chat. We'd love to hear from you guys and see if we can help give you an opportunity to kind of share your story and let us all get a chance to grow together. All right. So this is the Men's Roundtable Series podcast of Mr. U. These guys here, Brent Dowling, Roy Paquette, R.L. Corbett, and the illustrious DL, Justin Lagusa. Thanks again for making us part of your week. We love you guys.